Hello, guys. This is Avcoor, and I want to talk about Dark Heroes. This is the last element to speak on. And what I will say, in truth, is Dark is by far the strongest element in the game. There is no other element that will surpass Dark. There's just none. I can even show you that I myself have one, two, three, four of the core Dark Heroes. They're hard to build, but they're worth the investment because this faction continues to grow in power to the point where they're the clear winner. Um, Light is close. There's some good light characters that come, but the overall synergy of a pure dark team is something to behold, really. Um, yeah, I hate to say it, but if you're gonna dump resources into either light or dark, your best bet is to go dark because dark they get some really busted units. Dark Lord's coming, like he's like it's like man, they're getting some busted units, bro. They're getting like freaking what's his name, Sylvet, like the DPS healer hybrid. I mean, after he does his rage skill, he automatically revives somebody. So he gets DPS heal and revive in one rage skill. So there's literally no comparison. I mean, yeah. Let's go into what we already have. We'll go to archive and we'll go in depth with them. Another aspect I'll talk about is we won't talk about the food heroes, so to speak. Like, well, I'll go over them really quick. Madden, he's a food hero. He's a okay DPS. If you're free to play, you're gonna use him for food. Nothing much to talk about here. Doomslayer Lance. Uh, Lance is mediocre, but if you're just starting out, he will get you to beginning content. His kit is kind of so-so, but this is what I'm saying when I show you those food heroes. Dark has a lot of potential. There's one hero that is really bad, and the rest are really good. So let's go over the really bad hero in Dark. I used to use Barton, and he was good to get me to level 9, and he was food, because he is just terrible. This is the only weak link in the chain of Dark armor, because this guy is Garbo. One of the reasons why he is Garbo is, well, we'll start right here with his Deadly Shot AoE. First of all, he only hits one line, and he only gets Armor Shredder. When we talk about the other heroes, they get way more status effects. And the best one, she's just a stat queen. So this here is Garbo. Like Howling Wind actually attacks double line, so that's why her line AoE is tolerable. Someone like Valkyrie who gets stunned on her line AoE is tolerable. So if you're gonna attack one line column, you gotta be doing something more than just armor shredder. And the damage output is just low. It only gets worse from here. Ruthless Pursuit. When he dies, he deals like 172 damage of his attack and curses people. The problem with this is you gotta die in order to get it, and when you're dying, that's bad. This second slot usually has some pretty good skills in it, and you'll see with the next set of characters that the second slot has some pretty good stuff in it. Curse in itself is a crap stats effect. Uh, After 3 rounds, you inflict 100% of your effect to the you inflict 100% of the effects applier's attack and damage. This is Garbo because it's not consistent. You have to wait 3 rounds, and 3 rounds is like a lifetime in this game since it's idle. Idle games move fast, so this is like totally pointless. And it takes up a slot where a good skill could have been. Then you get the standard like self buff, and then you get this. When uses raid skill, additionally inflicts heal reduction effect on target. First of all, why this is so bad, you don't get a damage increase. So you don't get damage increase. You don't get 10% damage increase, which is pretty key for DPS. So he doesn't get that. That's why his damage output is weak. And the fact that he gets cursed a heal reduction, this is so bad. This is so bad. This is so bad. I mean, we'll talk about the next guy, and you'll see why this guy sucks so bad. You got to have something on this self buff. This fourth slot's got to make it happen, and it didn't happen for this guy. So he's food. I will admit he is cheap to build. You get so many Bartons, it's insane. When I summon, I get so many Bartons. So I'll even show you how many Bartons I have that I don't even use. Look how many Bartons I have. This is why he is tolerable because you get so many of him. And when you're a free to play player, dupes matter. Dupes matter wherever you can get them. So if you're a free to play player, you have to swallow the bullet. Dark gives you some good stat bonus. Go with him. But 9 stars and that's it. He's food. This dude is food after 9 stars. He ain't going nowhere. So let's go back. And we'll talk about a really, really good budget tank. Traitors shall die of betrayal. This is a diamond in the rough when it comes to Dark. Alex is not the best tank in the game. I'll start off by saying that. But for your bang for buck, he is awesome. This dude has some really solid stats for a low grade tank in Dark. And the fact is, he is Dark, so you're getting good stat bonuses when you put this guy in your team. And as you can tell, I got so many Alex. I have so many Alex that he's easy to build. This game is super expensive when it comes to resources. I think it may later on kill the game because it is so expensive when it comes to resources. I wish they would find ways in order to make the resources that you have access to easier. But F2Ps are going to get killed later on. They're just going to get murdered. And I think that's bad. So that's why I suggest Alex. People will say that he sucks, but if you're a free to play player, you should absolutely build him. At least till you get to 9 stars. If you want to food him, then fine. You can turn him to food. But if you're not spending money, it's going to be hard for you to put this guy in the trash can because let me show you why he's so good. Stat wise, he gets 108 speed, which is really fast. 2.18 mil is good HP. His attack is so-so. He is a tank. His defense is lacking. And that's okay. Like I said, he's low tier. You're getting a lot out of him for what you put into him. Reaper of Souls is has one of the wonkiest but useful status effects in the game. He does 320% of his attack to the opponent, but he gets expelled. I haven't seen anybody else with expel except this guy. Excuse me. You pretty much kick the dude out of. You pretty much kick your target out of the game for a turn, and he can consistently every 2 to 3 turns get this. And when you take like a tank out of the game, if you take out if you position them properly, that's why you always want someone like Dragon Master in the back because if you have an Alex, your Alex can actually remove Dragon Knight and you can pretty much eat away their team. And for a tank to be able to do that, someone who just soaks up damage, that's pretty amazing. This is one of the mechanics that makes Shield of Partha so good. Shield of Partha on her own is a solid tank, but she becomes better because she can CC an enemy out of the game. Once you're frozen, you're out of the game. Once you're expelled, you're out of the game. And that allows you to either hit that target or go after another target. So, yeah, this Reaper Souls is pretty good. Enemy of the Living. To wash away the pain of being betrayed, Alex become enemy of the living. Basic attacks have a 100% chance to apply weaken to target. Like I said, weaken is really good. Curse is not. And the fact that he gets weakened is super awesome. He gets cursed, and we'll talk about that later, but this weaken is really good. It allows him to like drop DPS, which is really amazing. For what you put into this guy and what you get out, I always will and will always testify that this is a good budget tank. And being part of Dart actually puts up his value. Of course, he gets the 80 HP and 40% attack. Typical tank stuff. Endless reincarnation. He gets damage. He gets received damage reduced by 10%, and his attacks have lifesteal effect. I mean, I hate to say it, man, but you're getting a lot out of this guy. This is a good budget tank. I hate to say it. I had to mention him, and it only gets better for Dark from here on out. This guy is the sign that Dark is super awesome because for what you put in and what you get out of this guy is freaking amazing. Because resources are so scarce in this game, it's like brutal. So that's why I just wanted to take some time to mention Alex. I'll go into in-depth analysis on Alex and what you should do and what you should use him with because I think YouTubers need to let people know that this game is expensive. It really is. So let's get out of here and let's talk about. Now we're gonna talk about the. We got like. Let me see. One, two, three, four. We got four super awesome units in Dark. And sadly, the first three that I'm going to talk about are really good, but they get it's hard because Dark is really good. Dark is a really good faction, so it's hard. But we're gonna start with the new one. Allison is a solid tank. Master, take control of me. I won't go into deep depth about her. We'll go into that in another video about her power, her skills, and whatnot. We're gonna go through a brief overview. What I will say is the strength of Allison is her faction, is Dark. The fact that she gets to be part of Dark makes her stronger. My suggestion for anybody who invests in Dark is to look at what type of team you want to build. If you're looking to build a DPS semi-tank hybrid, I think she's the way to go. I'll talk about the best tank in the game and the best tank in Dark later. But Allison can do a couple of things. First of all, she does have good AoE. She does have good AoE. Dance of the Moon, it hits the front and mid row, so you're getting at least 2 units. You're at least hitting 2 units depending on formation. And you have a 25% chance to taunt the enemy. Taunt is good, but 25% is not good. You actually want to get a little higher than that, but hey, I'll go into in another video later that she can actually raise that up. So it's not so bad. Okay, so Revenge of the Moon. After Allison receives damage, there's a 100% chance to revenge. Revenge will deal 20% plus 20% curse stack damage to the enemy in the front and mid row up to 100%, 120%. There's a 50% chance to apply 1 stack of curse. This is one of her better skills, and it really makes her rock. The fact that she is a punish tank, that when you hit her, she hits you back, and she hits for AoE. So, like I said, if you want to make a DPS hybrid Dark team, this is the way to go. It really is. Because most people in PvP don't use tanks. I mean, you're there to kill the opponent. You're not using the tank. I mean, there's really no point. So I think she has purpose there. I mean, of course, you get the 40% HP, 80% attack, but that shows you that she's more of a DPS than a tank. It should be 80% HP and 40% attack. So you can see her HP pool is really low for a tank. 1.56 million is really low, and she's slow. Her attack is really good. It is really good, but hey, that's just the way things go. This is where she kind of tanks. This is where she kind of falls off. Allison is infused with the legendary, well, whatever. After every round, gain one stack of moonlight. When a hero dies, she will absorb the escape soul to increase her damage dealt. This is where she kind of sucks. Because, first of all, you don't get automatic damage reduction and you don't get automatic damage increase. The thing about it is, she's supposed to build up this stuff over time, and time is a precious asset in this game as far as battles go. You're not gonna 7 rounds is probably like where you're gonna be at in PvP, which is where you kind of want her at. There are better tanks for PvE content, so that's why she kind of tapers off because the time they're asking you to get the most out of her does not exist. You can get up to 10 stacks, but that's 10 rounds. I just and you in order to get escape soul, you got to have 3 deaths. If 3 people are dying, you're in a bad spot. So to get the most out of her is pretty risky. It's a pretty risky bet. So that's why I don't think Alatin's one of the top tier units in Dark. She is really good when you compare her to units outside of Dark and outside of Light. She's really good, but if you're using Light and Dark, you're asking for a lot because Light and Dark is hard to build, and for the resources you put in, you need to get something out of it, and I don't think she gives you that. But she's good. The next person I want to talk about is
hidden in the shadows, unleashed during a massacre.
wow. She has a great design. Arloon or whatever. Assassins are a must-have for PvP because you're looking to delete people, and assassins do that. So I think Arloon for PvP is really good. Her HP is really low. Her speed is not as fast as it could be. Her attack is where it's at. That's pretty good attack. 1046k is good attack. Defense is pretty good too. That's good defense, especially for an assassin. That's really good. Death's Dance is really good. The weak don't have the right to keep fighting. That's pretty cool. This is what makes this attack really pop. It has AI manipulation because you're attacking the lowest HP unit. And you want that because her goal is to delete units. So you need AI manipulation. Inflicting damage equal to 360% of self attack. Also, the existing curse effect to the target is immediately resolved. This is why she kind of like needs to be in dark. She needs to exist in dark. Because the ability to resolve curse gets past curse's biggest weakness. The fact that curse takes so long to take effect at like 3 rounds. So that's really good. After damage is inflicted, it applies 1 stack of curse. Really good. Way of Shadow Dance. Arloon is proficient in the Path of the Shadow. When killing a target, she inflicts damage equal to 102% of attack on all enemies and applies the weakened and armor shredder effects to them. Also, she enters the Prowl state for 1 round. Effect can only be triggered once per round. This is where it's good and bad for her because this sounds good on paper, but in order to achieve this, you need to put a lot of resources into Arloon. If you're gonna make a single target unit in this game, prepare to spend money or spend resources because they have to have their gear a certain way. They have to have their runes a certain way. A lot of stuff's got to happen because we got good we have good tanks and the units that deal damage actually have good defense. So this is where she kind of has trouble. But she gets so much out of killing an enemy. I think it's worth it because you get reduce damage. You get armor shredder, and she gets stealth, but she can't be hurt. You can't attack her with AoE or single attack for 1 round. That's really good. Then she gets the 80% damage. This is really good. She increases damage instead of attack. That is so busted. Damage is just so busted. That's busted. Heirloom darts among the shadows launches fatal attack. Gains 10% damage increase. Basic attacks have 50% chance to inflict stun. That is so good. This is so good. She gets CC. She's really good. It's just the fact that in order for her to, because the content you're using her in, that you're asking your resources to produce, demands that she kills high level targets, and that can be difficult with her setup. But I think this is wrong. I think they worded this wrong. I think this is supposed to be attack because if it's 80% damage, that's stupid. That would make her really good. I think it's attack. I think they messed it up. That's really good. That'd be super good. Now let's talk about the healer. I'm not Underworld Strider. We'll just call him Strider. Is actually a solid healer. He's just in a pool of really strong units. He's slow and he's supposed to be slow, so the 94 is not an issue. His attack is good. His defense is good. His HP is on the low side. There's some things that make him good, and there's some things that are holding him back. And we'll go into it. Soul Eater. Sardimon, Strider communicates with the underworld and extracts energy from the oceans of souls, whatever. He purifies a negative effect from hero with the lowest HP and restores HP equal to 150% of his attack. This skill can be used 5 times. Really good skill, really good healing skill. Because his high base attack, he's actually going to pump out some really good healing. And I'll talk about in a later video that his skills actually help him achieve this. So far is actually good. Enemy of Death. Uh, this is where it kind of gets bad. Even Death God can have to retreat before me. At the start of the second round, when any hero has died, Strider casts Soul Returning spell to randomly resurrect a hero. The hero is resurrected with HP equal to 600% of his attack and gain dispersed of the dead effect. If no heroes have died, then apply Soul Energy effect on all heroes. Alright, this is where it kind of gets bad. At the end of the round, deducts HP equal to 100% of Underworld Strike's attack from target. I don't see what was the point of Disperse of the Dead. Why did they do that? That kind of hurts you because like you're constantly taking damage every turn, and AOE is so big and status effects. Sometimes I use him in content, and my heroes die. And Soul Energy is really good, but there are better healers in the game that do better stuff than he does. And I just don't like the way they set up his kit. This is a big letdown because Disperse of the Dead he get on the field and then they get off the field. It's kind of weird. The fact that he can revive every second round is pretty good. It's the same speed almost as Lord of Time, but Lord of Time actually has a really good healing kit, and it's hard to justify this. Of course, he gets the 80 attack and 40 HP. Soul Mastery. This is where it gets even worse. And we'll sum up why this is all bad. So, okay, he's efficient in the way of the soul. Increase healing effect by 20%. This is good when using raid skills. For every tick of healing done, there's a 40% chance to apply soul power effect to target. Okay, it increases damage. So why is this Garbo Simply put, he's not consistently healing every turn. He's not. Unless he's using his raid skill, he's not healing. End of discussion. Like, even this, he's not healing. He's reviving every 2 turns. And your ally is losing 100% of his attack, like every at the end of every round. Um, Lord of Time heals every turn. Polka heals every turn. Who else heals every? Well, Twins almost heal every turn. In order to be a healer in this game, you got to be a consistent healer. He doesn't do that. That's why I don't consider him like in the top tier of healing. It's just like they kind of messed up his kit because you kind of want him raging all the time. When you look at his potential awakenings, enhanced effect increases healing by 20%. That's great. And enhanced effect, dark heroes cannot be affected by disperse of the dead. That's good, but it's only dark heroes, so he can only be in the dark faction. I mean, Soulfarer, it kind of sucks because he's not consistently healing every turn. And he gets better over time when you get runes and stuff. Late game, he's better. He's much better late game. But when you're starting out, he's not as good. Late game, he gets better because you get access to other ways to heal, and you increase his healing that he does. So late game, he's better, but he's only good in a dark team. So that's that. But he's still good, but he's not as good as the ones we're going to talk about here. Let's talk about the best tank in the game.
I will become the best puppet master.
No matter what people say Dragon Master Don is the best tank in the game, and he's not. This guy is. For one simple reason. He's actually stopping you from reviving. Andy here, I'll call him Andy, has Mastering Malevolence, which is good single target damage, but you get Soulbound effect. If a hero dies within 4 rounds, then it cannot be resurrected. This effect lasts to the end of the round and cannot be purified. Super good effect. So good that it makes him the best tank in the game. Because Res is big in this game. Res is huge. And for 4 rounds, if a hero dies within 4 rounds and it cannot be resurrected, that's huge. This skill is huge. This is one of the most defining skills in the game because that's freaking huge. This dude's stats are really good. 2.3 million HP is good. 100 speed is crap. The attack is crap, but the defense is so good. So he's getting the 2 stats that he needs. He's not the biggest DPS, and you shouldn't expect him to be. Another reason why this dude is so good. After every attack, he absorbs their soul and gains cursed soul. At the end of the round, consume all cursed souls and heal all allies for 3% plus 5% cursed souls of malicious puppets max HP. This effect is immune to CC. Super good. You get 4 stacks. That's where you want counterattack rune on this guy so he can counter and hit people. This guy keeps getting better. This dude is good. Of course, he gets the tank stats and self buff. And now this is the icing on the cake. He gets the reduced damage by 10%. When attacking, there's a 60% chance of inflicting curse. When entering battle, reduces 25% received damage. Reduces 25% received damage of the hero with the highest attack. Last 1 round. Well, what can you say? mean, what can you say? He's getting all the stuff that he needs in order to win. He's not as versatile of a defender as Dragon Master Don, but in late game content, this dude's gonna like just rise to the top. He's the best one. Dragon Master Don is good though. He's by no means is he a bad tank, but yeah, man, this dude's doing it. Him and your boy from Light, they're doing it. The robots, they're doing it, man. As far as tanks go. So let's go ahead and talk about single target. This little brat's busted. This is like the ultimate assassin almost. Why do I say that? Look at his. Well, that's a lot of HP. He gets a lot of HP for a ranger. His attack is a little low, but he gets true damage, so it doesn't matter. Black Dragon Strike is so busted. So if the target has a curse effect, then you inflict 50%, 500% of attack and true damage. If the target doesn't have curse effect, then it inflicts 360% attack and damage. Getting cursed in the dark team is super, super easy. So true damage ignores any defense or shield effects. So this dude is ripping teams apart. I mean, just ripping teams apart. That level of damage is massive, especially when you can't resist it. Wow, that's massive. Oh my gosh, this dude is busted. Empower Black Dragon. What if we'll just call him Dragoon. After every turn, she applies the CC immune effect on herself, and there's also a 100% chance to gain crit rate increase and crit damage. Crit rate increase and crit damage increase is necessary for single target units. It's a must-have, and the fact that she does it for herself and she doesn't need help is insane. And especially about a 15% increase, that's pretty good. This allows her to do a lot of good one-shots against weakened enemies. So this is a big deleter. This is the deleter of the dark faction. Her job is to get people out of there, and she does it with the best of them. So she gets her 80% HP increase and the attack 40%. That's kind of weird to me because she's actually a ranger. So why would she get those? She should be 80-40. I don't understand that. Half Dragon reduces damage by 10%. This is what I don't understand. For some reason, it's kind of wonky, but it doesn't matter because she gets true damage, so it doesn't matter. I guess they're trying to balance it or something. But reduced damage actually makes her survivability really high. I mean, for someone who's a ranger, she has like tank stats for some reason. It's kind of weird. And attacks have lifesteal effect, which is kind of busted. And when you use rage skill, you silence the target, which is ultra busted. This is a really weird character to me, but the combination actually works really well. This is actually a really good character. I kind of think she's a little unbalanced, to be honest. But then again, you're going to have to spend money in order to get her to high stars, so whatever. Still, an amazing character. Amazing character. So let's go to the second to the last best character in Dark. Everybody knows who Anubis is. You see him enough in PvP, so that's that. He has an amazing attack stat at 1,049K. That's amazing. Speed low, HP low, defense is good. So let's go over what makes this dude pop. First of all, that attack is one of the reasons why this dude pops. let's just say that. Final Judgment is really good. It's kind of like what makes your girl Elementalist so good, because you're literally dealing damage to everybody on the field, and there's a 26% chance for stun, which is one of the best CC effects in the game. hands down, and you get the potential to hit at least one or two. You might miss one or once, maybe once or twice. You might miss one, but once you hit two or three, it's kind of over for the team. That's why you kind of want him to like go first. That's why you want to build up his speed so he can get out there and start dropping the AOE's. So Libra, when basic attacking inflicts curse effect on a target, and Anubis has 100% chance to purify a negative effect on himself. Really amazing. More so the latter than the former. Cursed is good, but the fact that he can just drop a negative effect on himself is amazing. That's really amazing. And of course, he gets the 40-80% attack. And Soul Curse, he gets damage increased by 10%. When using raid skills, dispel two random buffs from the target and applies a curse effect. This is better than advertised because buffing is a strong mechanic in late game, and the fact that you can take two random buffs off of target can really, it can really, it's a raid swing where your raid skill can like swing the tide of battle. So you get a nice raid swing on this. This is a really good skill. Anubis is simple in his design, but sometimes you gotta keep it simple, stupid, and you'll win a lot of fights. And that's what Anubis says. He's the quintessential super high attack mage who just gets rid of people off the board. And you can't ask any more from him than what he does. You could say that he could get a better stats effect, but that's the only problem I would see in his design. The fact that you can get him more damage, but that would kind of make him so OP. So there's ways that he could be better, but those ways that he could be better would make him broken. More broken than he already is, because he's pretty broken. When you can AoE stun people, you're pretty broken. But hey, there's better coming along.
Darkness is here. Let the game begin.
You're looking at the best debuffer in the game. This is the best debuffer in the game. This is the best dark unit in the game. Kind of weird to say that, seeing that she's lower. She's not at the top, but she is freaking. Okay, look, I can just show you. She's got 1,500k attack. She's rocking it. She's rocking the tag. This basic attack. Her HP and her speed is low. That's why you gotta use runes and stuff to make her fast. And that's just the way things are. Soul Whip. Soul Whip is like one of the best LE damages in the game. Okay, let's go into it. So she inflicts damage equal to 131% of her attack. At the same time, there's a 100% chance of inflicting curse, decay, aging, and heal reduction upon enemies. Curse is curse. Aging is really good. Reduces damage by 8%. Decay increases received damage by 8%, which is really good. And reduced healing is really good. The fact that she can just drop these four with the AoE at 100% is simply amazing. It's a big rage swing. Big rage swing. Affection of the Witch. Lilith takes care of allied heroes with long whip. Before a round starts, there's a 100% chance that all heroes will gain frenzy. This is really good. Frenzy attacks recover HP equal to 20% of inflicted damage. That's why she's kind of the core of a good dark team because she's doing so much for the faction as a whole. Uh, yeah, Frenzy is really good. She's top tier. She's meta. She's pure meta. So let's keep going. Abyss Vamp is, oh, self buff, whatever. Bow down at my beauty, puny humans. Gains damage boost 10%. This is really good. Common attack has a 20% chance to seduce enemies. Seduction cannot use active skill for each action. Uses basic attack to inflict damage on enemy. Yeah, so this is super good because first of all, you're not using rage skills. You're not using your rage skill. and you're inflicting damage on an enemy. So they're hitting themselves. So she literally is dropping 5 status effects, and she's giving her team a buff, which gives them life steal. What more can you ask for like a character? If you have her, build her. She's worth it. She's good long term, real good long term hero. And that's the thing about Dark. Dark is the strongest faction in the game. Pure Dark teams are better, and that's what makes them kind of suck. The fact that to get the most out of this faction, you should pretty much play them by themselves. They blend well, but in order to maximize their full potential, a full Dark team is a must. But for what you put into them, what you get out of them is insane. Dark is just insane. But anyways, if you like my content, the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you later.